Welcome to another stock market analysis video, and here are the 10 stocks that I'll be talking about today. If you're holding any of these stocks, make sure to watch this video because this coming trading week is very important. So in this video, I'll be talking about the key levels of these stocks, exact supports and resistances, and where I think these stocks are headed. So let's break each chart down. First on the list, PSEI for the overall market conditions. So for the PSEI, the last time that I talked about this stock, yung naging basis ko pa is yung November 24 na candles, no? So that explains the vertical line. So the last time, I was expecting that the PSEI would make two scenarios. So yung una, the neutral scenario is that pumunta siya dito sa ilalim ng ginawa niyang breakout but above the MA20 and dito siya magkaroon ng consolidation. And for it to break out of this consolidation by December. And the second scenario, magkakaroon siya ng consolidation dito banda. And for the PSEI to break out by December and continue its move na short-term to medium-term uptrend, no? So, it looks like it's creating the second scenario. So, what's happening to the PSEI ngayon is favorable, no? It's creating this bullish consolidation outside the downward channel move. So the next trading week is very crucial kasi ayun nga no, pag nahulog yung PSEI, most likely magiging sideways ulit tayo kasi dito siya magkakaroon ng buwelo or worse, it might even break down sa MA20 ulit no. Kung magkaroon pa ng further selling. That's why it would be best na talagang i-continue niya lang yung consolidation niya dito and saka siya mag-breakout no. So for me, if the PSEI is able to go above the 6,150 levels no for the remainder of the year, kahit andito lang siya sa 6,150 up to 6,2, okay na sa akin yan. That's already a sign of bullishness for me at mukhang hindi niya nagagawin yung downward channel move. So for the first stock na pag-uusapan natin, that's SGP. So for SGP, the last time that I talked about this stock, October 27 pa. So last month. And during this period, it made a breakdown no sa S1. So I previously plotted kasi na ang support niya is this 14 area. Tapos nagkaroon siya ng breakdown dito no. So of course, I'm going to remove this S1 already dahil hindi na yan ang support niya ngayon. And na-plot ko nga na S2 yung pinakamalalim niya na support. So fortunately, it didn't reach this level anymore. So nagkaroon siya dito ng rally no. So it was actually creating this downward channel move sa area na to and nagkaroon siya ng breakout dito noong November 24 and November 25. And this past Friday, no, last trading day of the week, nagkaroon siya ng gap up open. So around this level, it made a jump by about 4.76, no, nearly 5%, and nag-close siya ng more than 10%. But as you can see, hindi niya nalagpasan yung levels ng around 16.18 area kasi ayan yung na-plot natin na resistance. So as expected, doon siya naka-encounter ng selling pressure, no. So the question is, anong nangyari? Bakit tumalon yung SGP tapos nabuhay siya ng ganito? So this trading week kasi, no, this past trading week, they announced na meron silang ibibigay na dividends no for December 11. So, I guess most traders or investors became bullish sa SGP because they're thinking na yung dividends nga ng SGP no magiging quarterly na. So, last September kasi nag-release din sila ng div rate na around 2.16%. So, ito 2.41. So, that means kung magiging quarterly na yon tapos around 2%. So, that would mean 8 to 9%, no? Yung kanilang magiging dividend annually, no? So, I guess that's the reason why a lot of traders and investors are bullish for this stock. So, let's adjust the key levels for SGP. So, tatanggalin ko na tong pattern na to. And sa ngayon, syempre, ito na yung i-consider ko na R1. And this level here sa R1, I'm going to make this as the support already. So, nilagpasan niya, no, dahil sa sobrang bullishness. But of course, this is going to be the support level. And itong ilalim niya dito previously, syempre, ito na yung gagawin kong S2 para sa akin. And yung S2 niya before, syempre, yan yung gagawin kong S3. So, of course, the other resistances here, magiging na tong R2 and R3, no? So, ano yung dapat abangan for SGP? Of course, the X date by December 11. Because kapag nagkakaroon ng X date, no, kung ilan usually yung dividend, so ito 2.41, you'd expect that the stock will also drop as the stock price adjusts because of the dividends, no? So, halimbawa, yung SGP around this price area pa rin siya hanggang December 11. So, of course, that would mean if we plot around 2.41% here, ibig sabihin, pwedeng pumunta ng 1560 levels yung SGP, no? So, that means, syempre, dapat yung SGP either andito na siya sa levels na to or tumaas pa siya. Kasi, if the price stays below the MA50 or even near the S1 level, pag nag-drop siya ng more than 2%, pwede siyang mag-breakdown sa support and ayun yung magpatagal sa transition ng stock towards an uptrend, no? So, yung gusto nating mangyari sa SGP is makalagpas na siya dito sa 16.18 ASAP, no? Or kung magkakaroon man siya ng consolidation, at least around this area lang. Para pag nagkaroon na ng X date, no? At least andito pa rin siya sa loob ng S1. But I think, no, if hindi ganun ka bullish itong coming trading week, baka dito lang maglaro yung SGP sa consolidation. But of course, if it moves higher, then mas better. So that hindi siya maapektuhan masyado pag nagkaroon na ng bentahan sa X date, no? So another stock that has been moving towards an upward direction and has been rallying, no, for the past few days. Yung sunod na stock na pag-uusapan natin, so that's Web. So for PhilWeb Corporation, the last time that I talked about this stock, November 21 pa. And I was expecting na yung Web, no, magkaroon ng consolidation around this area, pero mukhang ayaw niya talagang magpapigil. So around November 25, no, sobrang lakas ng volume and it made a breakout dito sa R1 resistance niya, which is the 52-week high. But nung nagkaroon siya ng breakout, naka-encounter siya ng selling, no, sa around 6.16 area, and na-plot ko nga dyan na ayan yung possible descending triangle target, no? Kasi ito kasi yung ginagawang pattern ng Web, eh. And nahihirapan siya even on the following day, so November 26, ganun din nung November 27. But this past Friday, no, tumaas talaga yung stock tapos nalagpasan niya na yung resistance. So that's definitely a good signal for Web. So that means nalagpasan niya na yung possible descending triangle target. So I'm going to remove this consolidation pattern. Hindi niya na nagawa yan. So of course, itong R2, 6.16 level, syempre, gagawin ko na tong S1 dahil nalagpasan niya na, no? And the 5.47 to 550 level, syempre, gagawin ko ng support 2 yan. So yung previous 52-week high resistance niya, syempre, magiging ng support. So let's look towards the left kung ano yung pwedeng maging resistance ng PhilWeb Corporation moving forward. So, yung last resistance niya is ito, no? Yung 6.16 na may confluence with the descending triangle pattern target. So, ito, may nakikita tayong mga very important levels. So, as you can see here, meron tayong double bottom na support. So, 8 to 9 years ago pa niya na support yan. And then, kitang-kita dito na naging siyang resistance, no? So, this means 7 is the next possible resistance for PhilWeb. 7 area kasi may confluence din sa psych resistance, no? And we can also see here na may swing high tayo around 7.73 na level. So, looking at the present day chart, we can see na mukhang nagkaroon nga ng bentahan, no? Near 7. So, the price of Web reached 6.95. So, probably, may mga nagbenta dyan anticipating na magkakaroon ng selling sa 7 to 7.02. So, inunahan na nila, no? So, of course, this means that 7.02 is going to become R1 and 7.73 yung magiging R2. So, ang magandang gawin ng Web ngayon is to create a consolidation, no, around this area. So, between S1 and R1 para magkaroon siya ng bagong base tapos makabuelo. And make a breakout soon in order to test the R2. Mahirap kasi pag agad-agad niyang tinapik, no, yung R2 levels kasi sobrang taas na ng gains ng mga nakapulot dito sa ilalim. So, it might encounter grabing selling pressure, no, lalo na walang nangyaring consolidation or base building around this area. So as you can see, traders who were able to buy during this period already up by 70%. Sa levels na to, magni-near 100% na. So baka magkaroon ng bentahan dyan dahil buyer's exhaustion, no? So it would be much better if mag-consolidate muna yung Web before siya mag-breakout para mas malakas yung breakout na mangyari. So the next stock that I'm going to talk about, that's Converge. So for Converge, the last time that I talked about this stock, November 18, and during this period nga, nagkaroon siya ng breakout dito sa consolidation niya, no, na ginagawa. So ito, pero naging fake out kasi nag-serve as malakas na resistance yung area na to. And of course, added pa dyan na ayan yung kanyang trend line, no? So, this was the previous trend line support tapos naging resistance nung nagkaroon ng breakdown nung September 11. Fortunately, Converge has been rallying, no, for the past few days. Nalagpasan niya itong trend line na to along with the R1 and R2 resistance. So, nahirapan lang siya dito sa R2, nagkaroon ng onting selling. Pero, much like Web, no, nitong Friday, nalagpasan niya yung resistance na yon. So, this is a very good move by Converge, no, for the past few days. Kasi, yung Globe and Tel, nauna nang gumalaw. So, itong Converge, humabol. Akala ko hindi na siya gagalaw at hindi na siya magkakaroon ng benefits, no, sa galaw ng sector niya pagdating sa telecommunications and services, no. So, of course, I need to adjust the levels for Converge ngayon. So, itong R2 level sa 14.98 to 15, syempre, ito na yung gagawin kong next na support, no? So, ito yung S1. And I'm going to remove this trend line kasi nalagpasan na and I don't think it will serve a purpose pa. So, itong R1 around 14 price area, syempre, gagawin ko na tong S2. And I'm going to delete yung mga levels dito sa baba. So, I think they're irrelevant na sa ngayon, no? Dahil malayo na dyan yung Converge. And ito na yung main support levels niya. So, for the resistance, I'm seeing that this level is going to act as a possible resistance in the short term. So, ito kasi yung very important area niya before kasi ito yung bottom ng range niya, no? Kung saan nagkaroon ng maraming support area. So, may breakout dito yung Converge sa 15.60 pero hindi sobrang ganda ng breakout niya, no? Parang tinatapik niya lang or may overshoot lang ng onte. So, I can still consider this as a R1 resistance kasi maganda sanang breakout nito kung umabot siya ng 15.90 to 16 price area, no, para may confirmation talaga. So, ngayon, lalagyan ko pa rin to ng resistance sa R1 pero I'm just going to put a call out here dahil pag nakalagpas naman siya sa 16 at hindi na siya nagko-close below 15.60, this area could be a possible support, no. Pero sa ngayon, mas leaning on more ako towards 15 na price area as the S1. So, of course, this means yung R3 natin, syempre, gagawin ko na tong R2 as the potential next resistance if it indeed makes a move higher ng 16. Tapos yung 17.70 na area na dating R4, yan ang gagawin kong R3. So, definitely looking good for Converge in the short term. And finally, nakapag-catch up na siya sa mga stocks na gumalaw sa kaparehas yung sector, much like Globe and Tel, no? So, the next stock that I'll be reviewing, another stock that made a significant rally this past trading week, and that's the gold mining stock, PX. So, for Philex Mining, the last time that I reviewed this stock, around November 21, and na-mention ko nga doon na it was moving, no, towards this downward channel, or you could consider it as a falling wedge also towards the price level below 7.40. So, if you've been watching several stock market analysis videos of mine before, you already know na whenever I see stocks that are moving towards a downward channel move or a falling wedge na pattern, it's very important na makalagpas siya dun sa pattern na yon para hindi niya puntahan yung direction kung saan papunta yung pattern na yun. So, in this case, ito kasi yung direction ng PX, no? So, ibig sabihin, pwede talaga siyang pumunta sa price na 7, no? Lalo na pag nabutas itong major support range niya na 7.40 to 7.76. And fortunately, nangyari nga yun. So, November 25, nag-breakout siya dito sa pattern na yun, no? And as you can see, nagkaroon siya ng onting struggle near the 9 price area dito sa na-plot ko na R1. Syempre, resistance yan. As you can see, ito yung kanyang double top in the short term, no? So, nagkaroon ng bentahan dyan. Pero, much like the other stocks like Converge and Web, no? After niyang mag-struggle ng a few days sa resistance, talagang nilagpasan niya ng sobrang ganda. So, you can see here sa PX na yun nga yung nangyari, no? So, syempre, itong 8.91 level, I'm going to already consider this as the next support area. So, mas significant kasi yung ginalaw ng price above the resistance. So, I can already consider this as a support. So, this means that the level at 9.87 is going to be the R1 and it corresponds with the 10 pesos na psych resistance, no? So, ibig sabihin, you can consider this as the possible resistance, yung 9.87 to 10. And of course, this 52-week high level, syempre resistance yan. And of course, may mga previous resistances nga to multi-year high resistances sa 11.34 and 11.54. That's why I'm going to consider this as the R2 range. So, ito yung pinakamabigat at pinakamakapal na resistance ng PX in the short term. So, I still have the same bias like what I said sa previous video na pinag-usapan ko yung PX. I think gold needs to make a very good rally again in order for these gold mining stocks to reach their 52-week highs again, no? So, kung wala masyadong catalyst na specifically for PX, wala akong nakikitang sobrang gandang reason, no, para maabot niya tong 1150 levels and go above 12 kung walang support ng galaw ng gold. But of course, kung hindi man gagalaw yung gold pero may specific fundamental positive reason naman sa gold mining sa Philippines and maybe specifically for PX, so I think we can reach these levels in the short term to medium term. Pero sa ngayon, ito muna yung kailangan niyang lagpasan. PX needs to break out dito sa R1 and stay above 10 kung gusto niyang maabot itong price levels na to sa R2. But it's definitely good na nakalagpas na siya dito sa falling wedge and sa downward channel move na ginagawa niya, no? So, negated na yan and I don't think that the stock is gonna go below this range sa short term. Unless magkaroon ng sobrang negative na catalyst sa PX or bumaba ng sobra yung prices ng gold. So, the next stock na pag-uusapan natin, this is a very speculative stock that made significant moves nung a few weeks back, no? So, tingnan natin kung ano yung itsura ng chart niya ngayon. So, that's PXP. So, for PXP, the last time na napag-usapan ko yung stock na to, October 9. So, during this period kasi nagkaroon ng mga significant na news, no, regarding sa West Philippine Sea and yung mga service contracts, no, na na-award sa mga different companies. And of course, PXP is one of those companies. And the stock talaga increased by more than 39%, no, nearly 40% nung unang araw niya. And the following day, no, as high as 79%, nearly 80% from the lows nung end ng September and first week October. But if you've watched that video, and it would be best na panuorin nyo, napag-usapan ko doon na itong mga stocks na to are very speculative in nature since hindi naman ibig sabihin na may na-award na contract, magagawa na kaagad nila yung business nila, no? Remember, there are a lot of geopolitical issues pagdating sa West Philippine Sea and dito sa mga areas na to, no, kung saan may sinasabing may mga natural resources at may mga kung ano-anong minerals, diba? So, as expected, nagkaroon lang din ng bentahan sa PXP. So, ayan naman kasi yung talagang ginagawa niya madalas, no? Every time nagkakaroon ng magandang disclosure or sentiment, tumataas yung stock, tapos nabibentahan lang din kaagad. So, I'm not really surprised na yun yung nangyari. In fact, I already said that sa previous video na doble ingat kayo if you're planning to trade PXP. Or if you have PXP, make sure na meron kayong mga trail stops in order to profit take, no? Kasi sayang na matunaw yung mga gains. So, I was able to plot here yung mga support levels ito sa S1 and S2. And nagtagal naman siya doon for a couple of days. Pero, ever since nagkaroon ng bentahan noong October 21, talagang wala nang ginawa yung stock kundi mag-consolidate sa ilalim. And I previously plotted S3 as the support here. So, syempre, since pumunta na siya sa ilalim ng S3, magiging na tong R1. And what can you see? Naging resistance na siya, no, for twice already during this period. So, syempre, R1 pa rin yan. So, in this case, itong 2.95 up to the 3.07 area, I'm going to consider this as the R2 range na resistance. And itong mga previous levels niya, syempre, R3 and R4 resistance na to. So, in this case, PXP is moving inside this consolidation, and since this is the bottom part of the consolidation, yung 2.30, I'm going to consider this as the S1 for PXP already. And yung second support niya medyo malalim na, yung previous range niya pa before na base, no? So, nasa 2 price area. So, I think for PXP, ang makakapagtulak na lang ulit sa stock na to go higher is kung magkaroon man ulit ng magandang news, ng disclosure, or ng positive catalyst regarding sa service contracts nila, no, or sa mga oil or mga methane gas or mga kung ano-ano pang minerals or resources na pwedeng malink sa kanila. So, kung wala yon, syempre wala namang mga investors or mga traders na papasok sa stock na to. So, kung walang catalyst, kung walang rason para maging speculative yung mga tao, I think mahirapan tong lumagpas ng 3 pesos in the short term or even in the medium term, no? So let's see kung may gagawin na magandang moves yung PXP in the coming weeks or months, no? But if you're able to buy PXP above 3 pesos, no, make sure that kung hindi nyo kaya mag-monitor ng mga stocks na ganito na highly speculative, na mabilis yung galaw, it would be best na iwasan nyo na yung mga ganitong type ng stock. Kasi hindi ito yung mga type ng stocks na pwede nyong i-buy and hold and treat it as a blue chip, no? Because sa galaw niya ngayon, since third liner to fourth liner tong stock na to, mas malapit sa galawang basura stocks, no, yung galaw niya. So, ito kasi mga type ng stocks na to at itong type ng mga galaw na to, mas applicable siya sa mga taong nagsascalp or nagdi-day trade na kaya mag-monitor ng mga positions nila, no, during market open. So, this next stock has been making waves sa mga business articles, no, sa business world because of the possible delisting nga daw na gagawin. So, this next stock is FGen. So, for First Gen Corporation, the last time that I talked about the stock, November 7. So, as you can see, the price has already significantly increased since the stock market analysis ng video na to. So, it reached as high as 16% and currently up by 10% since the review. So, ano ba yung naging catalyst ng stock na to? So, if you're not aware, in recent interviews kasi and reports, yung First Gen, which is owned by the Lopez Group, stated na one of their options na available sa kanila is to exit the PSE. So, there's a possible delisting na mangyari because they've already sold around 50 billion of their gas assets, no, to one of their co-billionaires, si Mr. Razon, who owns, of course, ICT, Bloomberry, and other companies sa Philippine stock market. But may caveat dito, although nasabi niya yon sa article, no, one of the heads of First Gen, wala pa namang firm plan or timeline kung gagawin ba talaga nila yon or kung kailan nila gagawin. So, I think wala pang specific disclosure na sinasabi, no, para sa voluntary delisting na yon. So, the question is, kung i-delist yung FGen at mawawala siya sa PSE, bakit tumataas yung stock, diba? So, kung iisipin mo at papakinggan mo yung mga news na ganun, parang counterintuitive siya na matatanggal yung company sa PSE pero tumataas yung stock. So, the reason for that kasi is because whenever companies that are listed publicly sa stock market will do a delisting or magdi-delist sila, ang nangyayari dyan is they provide what we call a tender offer, no? So, yung tender offer, yung mga major shareholders nitong company na to, yung mga executives, they would want to buy out yung mga shares na hawak ng mga retailers, no? Or the public. So, madalas kasi pag nagbibigayan itong mga tender offers na to, it's at a premium, no? So, halimbawa, and sinasabi kong halimbawa kasi nga wala pa namang firm plans tapos wala pang napag-usapan na price. So, for example, sinabi ng executives ng First Gen na they're gonna do a tender offer at 18.50 na price area. So, kunwari dito, no? So, basically, sinasabi nila na pagde-delist na kami sa First Gen and we want to buy out the public or the retailers out there and we're willing to pay 18.50 na price for every share that you have. So, of course, if bibilhin mo yung FGen around 16.50, tapos bibilhin sa'yo ng executives, no, or mga heads ng company yung shares mo, so instant 11.88 or 12% kanya, no, less taxes and of course less fees. So, ibig sabihin yan, may mga taong mag-uunahan ng mga shares nila kasi bibilhin nga ng company yung lahat ng shares na yun eh. So, isipin mo kung makakapaglagay ka dyan ng 10 million, diba? So, ibig sabihin, instant more than 1 million yung pwede mong kitain agad just because of that transaction. But, ayun lang yung caveat nga, wala pa kasing plano talaga na definite and wala pang pinag-uusapan na price, no? So, what happened here is that nagkakaroon lang ng speculation sa public na matutuloy siya at nag-expect sila na yung price is probably above 18, no? So, when I talked about the stock, yung na-notice ko lang naman na pattern sa kanya is nag-create siya ng descending triangle and sabi ko nga, it's important na makalabas siya sa descending triangle in order to negate the bearish pattern. Kasi, kung magkakaroon ng breakdown dito sa S1 support, of course, the next area to go to is the 14 price area kasi ayun yung S2, no? So, ang nangyari, nakapag-breakout nga siya, tapos talagang sinundan niya, no, yung arrow na na-plot ko last time. So, hindi niya rin inintindi itong R1 resistance, no? Probably, itong pagtaas na to is the anticipation of this news regarding the delisting. So, sa ngayon, I'm still going to treat this level na R2 as the resistance. So, para sa akin, R1. And ito, nag-create na siya ng bagong swing high around 17.80. So, syempre, ito na yung R2, no? And itong previous level sa R1, ito na yung gagawin kong current support area niya. So, nalagpasan niya naman kasi yung resistance na yan eh. So, I'm going to consider this already as S1. And itong previous level sa S1, syempre, yan yung gagawin kong S2, no? And itong S2 level, syempre yan ang gagawin kong S3. So it's very interesting to see kung anong mangyari dito sa FGen in the coming days or weeks. And this could probably be a volatile stock, no, pag nagkaroon ng further announcements or further disclosures kung ano ba talaga yung magiging plano ng mga executives ng company na to. So the next stock that I'm gonna talk about, FB. So that's San Miguel Food and Beverage. So, for FB, wala masyadong mga drawings dito. So, I think sobrang tagal na since I talked about this stock. Kaya walang mga drawings, no? I think nag-reset na yung chart. But that's okay. Pag-usapan natin yung mga current levels niya, no? So, isang tingin pa lang dito sa FB, what's happening sa San Miguel Food and Beverage is nasa loob lang siya ng isang sobrang laking consolidation, no, for more than a year. So, we can see na ito kasi yung high nung range niya and this is the low of the range. So, it's very simple. Pag nilagyan natin ng box dyan, makikita mo na walang ibang ginawa yung stock kundi maglaro dito sa box na to at mag-sideways lang siya. So, I think the reason why ito yung galaw ng FB, wala kasi siyang masyadong catalyst. So, very mature and stable na kasi tong company na to, no? And one of the major reasons kung bakit pinapasok ng mga market participants to is hindi dahil sa capital appreciation. It's actually because of the dividend. So, last time I checked, yung div yield ng FB around 5 to 6%, no? So, not bad. Pero ayun nga, since yung focus ng mga market participants sa stock na to is for dividends and not really for capital appreciation, syempre, wala masyadong mangyaring galaw dyan, no? That's why it's just moving like this ng sobrang tagal na. And if we move towards the left, makikita natin na talagang nasa consolidation pa nga talaga siya, no? Since October 2022 pa. So, ito, kitang-kita natin, sobrang laki nung box niya, no? Ito talaga yung consolidation na ginagawa niya. But of course, focus lang muna tayo dito sa 1 year na chart pattern na ginagawa niya. So, in this case, we can clearly see na this area is a very good support sa FB, yung 50, along with the bottom part of the range, no? So, ito yung S1 support sa ngayon. This area here and this range here. And for the resistance, I can see na ito yung kanyang resistance sa ngayon, yung R1, 55.18. And itong top ng range niya, syempre resistance yan. I might consider this as the R2. So, I think it would take a lot of really good catalyst for San Miguel Food and Beverage para malagpasan niya tong R2. And sa ngayon, wala pa akong nakikitang catalyst, no, na makakapagtulak sa kanya above 57 price area. So, I think dividend play lang talaga sa ngayon yung ginagawa ng stock na to. So, siguro hindi lang maganda if magkaroon siya ng breakdown sa S1 and the bottom part of the range because the next support could probably be 45. So, ayun yung nakikita kong next na major support niya, no? But of course, that doesn't mean na pag nabutas to, diretso talaga siya agad dyan. Because pwede naman nga talagang magkaroon ng buying to, no? From 49 to 47 since it's a dividend stock. But of course, kailangan pa rin mag-expect na mga worst case scenario. So, hindi naman natin talaga 100% mapipredict kung ano yung mangyayari sa stocks, diba? So, it's very good to know na pwede mo lang ma-anticipate na pwedeng pumunta sa 45 price area yung stock kapag nabutas yung major support levels niya. Pero sa ngayon, nakikita ko na ang galaw lang ng FB is inside this box. So, earlier sa video na to, I talked about Converge. So, itong next stock na pag-uusapan natin is another telco stock but isa sa mga kulelat na telco stock. So, that's DITO. So, for dito, the last time na napag-usapan ko yung stock na to, October 27. So, as you can see, sobrang daming resistances dyan. Kasi nga, walang ibang ginawa tong stock na to kundi bumaba ng second half ng 2025. Sinusundan niya yung downward channel move niya at nakapag-breakdown pa nga siya nitong past week, no? So, I mentioned last time when I talked about this stock na it can only do two things at this point. It's either magkaroon siya ng very good rally palabas ng one price area para ma-prevent yung further downward move niya, or it can actually make a breakdown kapag nabutas niya yung downward channel. So, wala na rin kasi siyang ibang support, and that's why I plotted 3 lines here representing the psych support at 50, 0.60, and 0.70, no? Since wala nang ang ibang support tong stock na to eh. So, as you can see, nagso-support pa naman kahit papano yung 0.70 na price area. So, it just goes to show you na medyo basura talaga tong stock na to. So, yung Converge, yung TEL, yung Globe, gumalaw na pataas. So, that means it could either be an individual thing sa mga companies na to, or pwedeng buong sector talaga yung gumagalaw or nagkakaroon ng positive na catalyst, no? So, kung yung dito hindi sumusunod sa galaw ng mga peers niya, no, ng Globe, TEL at Converge, so for sure may something wrong sa stock na to. That's why bumababa siya. So, sa ngayon, ang pwede na lang natin tingnan na price area itong 0.60. So, ayan kasi yung next support niya, no? And sa ngayon, I'm still gonna maintain these levels. So, para sa akin, wala namang pinagbago sa mga resistance. Ang pinagkaiba lang, I can extend further itong downward channel. And since the stock is already below the downward channel, I can already treat the support line of this downward channel as a resistance. So, ibig sabihin, kung hindi enough yung strength ng dito, kung hindi enough yung buying pressure, pwedeng mabunggo lang siya dito sa bottom part ng downward channel, tapos sa kanya i-continue yung move downward, no? So, ang importante dito, in the short term, para hindi na siya bumaba pa ng bumaba, at least man lang, no, makapag-move siya higher above ng MA20. So, siguro kahit 0.81 or 0.82, medyo okay na. So, pag hindi niya kasi ginawa yan, mataas talaga yung chance na mag-consolidate lang siya or mag-move lower pa. So, the next stock, that's BPI. So, for BPI, the last time that I reviewed this stock, so around 2 weeks ago, so nearly 2 weeks ago, no, nung November 18 pa. And during this period nga, ang sabi ko, yung BPI was moving towards a downward channel move. So, pwede siyang pumunta dito sa price na around 96 to 98 kasi andito yung major support niya, and it also follows the downward channel move. And sabi ko nga, whenever we see downward channel na mga patterns or falling wedge na patterns, it's very important that the stock moves outside of that pattern. So, ito nga yung ginawa ng BPI, no? Nag-breakout siya nung November 17 and nagsistay siya above nung November 18. And sabi ko nga doon, it's very crucial na makapunta yung BPI above the R2. So, talagang sinundan niya yung na-plot ko na arrows, no? So, hindi siya nahirapan lagpasan yung R1, pero sa ngayon, ang nangyayari, nahirapan siyang lagpasan yung R2. So, we can clearly see that the 118 price area is acting as the resistance for 4 separate days already. So, I'm not surprised kasi syempre, BPI is one of the blue chips and one of the largest blue chips out there na part ng PSEI natin. And nagko-consolidate yung PSEI eh. So, syempre, yung gagawin ng BPI nito, mas mataas yung chance na consolidating din siya. So, that's why andito siya sa range na to. So, I think it's very important that the PSEI moves higher sa range ng consolidation niya. Baka sakaling yun yung magtulak para yung BPI, no, makapunta na sa 120 price area. So, sa ngayon, yung R2, I'm going to convert this as the R1. And itong R1 na resistance niya previously, syempre gagawin ko na tong S1. So, I think this is the possible support. Tapos mukhang may confluence pa sa MA100, no? So, that means that itong level niya na major support, I'm going to consider this as the S2 already. Tapos itong R3, syempre, yan yung gagawin kong R2. And then R4, syempre, yan yung R3. So, very interesting to see kung anong gagawin ng PSEI this coming trading week. But definitely, it would be good for BPI to move near 120 already para malagpasan niya na itong major resistance niya sa ngayon. Ang kailangan lang bantayan, meron tayong X-date, no, sa December 2. So, that's around 2.12%. So, at these price levels, pag nag-drop ng 2% yung BPI, pwedeng mag-breakdown siya dito sa small consolidation na ginagawa niya. Pero at least, it looks like the S1 is gonna act as the support along with the MA100 pag nagkaroon man ng bentahan, no, during the X-date. So, the next stock, that's Wilcon. So, for Wilcon, the last time that I talked about this stock, so more than 2 weeks ago, so November 14. And during this period nga, na-plot ko itong area na to around 7.18 as the S1, no? And sabi ko dito, it's a possible resistance if the stock moves lower. So, ayun nga yung nangyari dito, pumunta sa ilalim yung Wilcon. Pero mabuti naman at hindi siya tumuloy-tuloy dito sa S2. But ayun nga, since nagkaroon ng rally yung stock, we can see that tinamaan niya tong S1 at naging role reversal na. And of course, it became the resistance for this stock along with your MA20. So, syempre, ito na yung gagawin kong R1, no? And itong mga previous na resistances, syempre, babaguhin ko na rin yan. So, in this case, I'm going to use this level, yung around 6.39 as the S1. And syempre, ito na yung magiging S2 pa rin sa ngayon because it's still one of the major support levels for this stock, no? So, ngayon, sa Wilcon, I think what it can do sa short term is to move inside this box ng near S1 and R1 price level until makapag-decide, no, yung market participants kung magkakaroon ba to ng enough catalyst or positive news na makakapag-entice sa mga traders or investors para butasin yung R1, no? Or manghina yung stock, magkaroon ng selling pressure at mabutas niya yung S1 at puntahan yung S2 support. So if you want to watch my other videos talking about specific stocks, so you can click towards the right na pag-usapan ko yung thoughts ko regarding sa SEC. You can also click the video below. Diyan ko napapag-usapan yung mga non-technical concepts when it comes to stock market trading. So if you found value sa video na to and if you've learned a lot, make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel so that you'll be updated sa mga future videos na i-upload ko.